What does the World Chess Champion title really mean? Imagine a room where the World Chess Champion sits at the board, focused, while others wait for his decision. The title was not just about playing the best moves, it was about deciding who could even compete. Players like Emmanuel Lasker or Alexander Alekhine were known to set their own match conditions, using their influence to control who could challenge them. Today, most people think of the champion as the strongest player. In the past, the title carried much more weight. It stood for authority, influence, and the power to shape how chess was played. Sometimes, the champion was like an artist, finding beauty in chaos. Picture José Raul Capablanca, whose fluid game and endgame finesse painted each match as a masterpiece. Other times, the champion acted more like a scientist, focusing on logic and precision. Think of William Steins, who meticulously devised theories of positional play, a precursor to modern chess strategies. There are also moments when the champion became a political symbol, even if they didn't choose it. Consider Boris Spassky during the Cold War era, who inadvertently played a role in geopolitics, his matches serving as a proxy for ideological battles. If you look closely at modern chess, from the openings players use to the endgames they study, and the way top players train, you can trace much of it back to earlier champions. This is not just a list of winners, it's a story about how power, pressure, and personality have shaped the game of chess. The first World Chess Championship is dated back to 1886. The winner was Wilhelm Steins, but calling it a World Championship is not quite accurate. There was no federation, no qualification system, and no neutral organizer. If you were the champion, you decided everything: who could challenge you, when they could play, and under what conditions. It's said that William Steins once turned down a challenge from a wealthy patron who could afford the match but lacked the skills to compete. Steins reportedly remarked, "It takes more than money to earn a place at this table," cementing the idea that influence and reputation often overshadowed the merit in the early days of the championship. Talent alone was not enough. You also needed influence, money, and the right connections. Many brilliant players never even got a chance to play for the title, not because they were weaker, but because they were overlooked. Take for instance Akiba Rubinstein. Though Rubinstein was an exceptional talent in the early 20th century, his career was overshadowed by circumstances beyond his control, including World War I, which disrupted many competitions, and financial barriers that prevented him from securing match funds. Those obstacles left him without the opportunity to challenge for the World Chess Championship. His game and ideas, however, remain a treasure trove for chess enthusiasts. At its peak, chess was already a contest of power as much as of intellect. Before Steins, chess was absolute cinema. Sacrifices drew applause, attacks were admired, and to defend was almost an embarrassment. Steins changed how people thought about chess. He argued that attacks succeed because of good positions, not just bravery. He showed the importance of pawn structures and king safety, and that small advantages add up over time. Before Steins, players often sacrificed material for quick attacks, as in the Evans Gambit. His methodical style, based on building advantage, became the foundation of modern chess. People mocked and criticized him, calling his style boring, but over time, his results spoke for themselves. Modern positional chess emerged, not from a quest for beauty, but from a relentless search for truth. In the aftermath of World War II, chess at last found order and structure. In 1948, FIDE took control over the World Chess Championship. For the first time, there was a formal structure, candidates tournaments, clear rules, and regular title matches. The Soviet Union quickly seized control of the chess world. The game became a showcase for discipline and intellect. Botvinnik, the architect of Soviet chess, brought scientific rigor and collective preparation. Tall dazzled with fearless attacks, Petrosian built fortress of defenses. For decades, the crown rarely left Soviet hands. The system seemed invincible. Before 1972, chess was respected but niche outside Europe and the Soviet Union. Then came Bob Fischer. He was an American from Brooklyn, self-taught, deeply focused, and often alone. Fischer had no institution or team to support him, and no safety net. He relied only on his talent and relentless preparation. On his path to the title, Fischer did not just win, he demolished his rivals. His 6-0 sweeps against elite grandmasters stunned the chess world, and his performance rating of 2,785 in the candidates remains astonishing even today. These numbers do not just tell a story, they immortalize his run as one of the most legendary feats in chess history. In 1972, Fischer challenged the reigning champion, Boris Spassky, in Reykjavik, Iceland. The match became a symbol of the Cold War, played out at the chessboard. The match started with chaos. Fischer lost the first game after a big mistake, then forfeited the second. Down 2-0, most people thought the match was already over. But then Fischer returned, sharper and more determined than ever. He outplayed Spassky in endgames, seized control of positions, and proved the Soviet machine was not invincible. Fischer won the match and became world chess champion, the first American to do so. Yet, the crown came with a price. Fischer trusted no one, and the weight of the world pressed down on his shoulders alone. When FIDE refused to change the format in 1975, Fischer walked away. He lost the title without playing a single game. Fischer vanished from the chess stage, but his shadow lingered long after. To understand modern chess, you need to know about one rivalry: Garry Kasparov versus Anatoly Karpov. 5 World Championship matches, 140 games. Karpov mastered control and impenetrable defenses. Kasparov electrified the board with a relentless energy and attack. Their rivalry pushed the mental boundaries of chess to the breaking point. The 1984 match had no set length and lasted 48 games before it was stopped. The players were exhausted, and the system could not handle it. Kasparov finally seized the crown, but the duel between them raged on. In 1993, Kasparov broke away from FIDE, splitting the chess world in two. The title grew murky, its authority diminished. In 2000, Kasparov played against Vladimir Kramnik. Kramnik did not attack Kasparov, instead, he contained him. With the Berlin defense and unshakable solidity, Kramnik won the match without conceding a single defeat. Not long after, Kasparov stepped away from competition, closing the book on a legendary era. After Kasparov, chess' center of gravity shifted to unexpected corners of the world. Vishwanathan Anand was born in Chennai, India, far from the usual centers of chess. He grew up without a strong system to support him. Anand played with speed, instinct, and fearless resolve. He climbed to the summit and held his ground for years. In 2007, everything came together for him. The World Championship was decided by a tournament in Mexico City, with 8 players competing against each other. While others faltered under pressure, Anand's calm and steady hand guided him to triumph. For the first time, India had a world chess champion. Anand became a national icon, igniting the dreams of a new generation. Then came Magnus Carlsen. Carlsen emerged from Norway, a land with no chess tradition, and climbed to the summit without the safety net of a powerful system. As a child, Carlsen was unassuming, but his uncanny memory and profound understanding of position set him apart. He became a grandmaster at 13 and was the highest rated player in the world by 19. In 2013, he defeated Anand and became Norway's first world chess champion. Carlsen defended his title against many challengers and never lost a world championship match. Carlsen's reign was built on understanding, endurance, and psychological grit, not just memorized openings. Over time, Carlsen grew restless with the format. He felt stiffed creativity and turned games into battles of preparation. In several interviews, Carlsen expressed frustration with the traditional championship format, suggesting it lacked room for innovation and spontaneity. He mentioned that the format prioritized rote memorization over genuine strategic exploration, which did not align with his vision of chess. Despite external pressures and high expectations, Carlsen ultimately decided to step away, seeking a chess life that allowed for more personal freedom and fostering a love for the game's creative aspects. He chose to seek a freer chess life. When Magnus Carlsen stepped away from the Classical World Chess Championship, it was not just a personal decision. It reshaped the very structure of the game. For more than a decade, the chess world orbited a single corner of gravity. One player everyone chased, one benchmark for greatness, one constant reference point. Carlsen did not just wear the crown, he defined the era. And when he chose not to defend it, that center vanished. In 2023, Ding Liren became world chess champion. It was historic, the first champion from China, a milestone for global chess. But this time, something was different. For the first time in years, the champion was no longer the era's dominant force. Ding had earned the title through resilience, through pressure, through one of the most emotionally intense matches in history. Yet, one fact lingered. The strongest player in the world was still Magnus Carlsen, and he had simply chosen not to be there. Carlsen's absence transformed the way the world saw the championship crown. The next challenger emerged from the candidates tournament, a competition designed to answer one question: who deserves a shot at the crown? The candidates is not a showcase for brilliance alone, it's a test of survival. Weeks of elite opposition, no room for collapse, no margin for error. In this environment, one player stood out: Gukesh Domaraju. Young, calm, unburdened by history. While others shouldered the burden of past disappointments, Gukesh played as if the title was simply another door waiting to be opened. Gukesh did not dominate every game. He did not overwhelm the field. Instead, he achieved something rarer. He stayed steady while the field wavered. When the tournament ended, Gukesh had done enough to secure his place. At only 18, he claimed the right to challenge for the world's highest chess honor. He became the youngest challenger in the history of the World Championship. The World Chess Championship between Ding Liren and Gukesh was held in Singapore, a neutral stage, global spotlight. The format held fast to tradition. Classical games came first, with long time controls, demanding mental endurance over weeks. If the scores were tied, rapt games would decide the crown, where nerves count far more than memory. From the outset, the contrast was unmistakable. Ding carried the weight of being the champion, the pressure of expectation, the heavy burden of defense. Gukesh carried something else, a sense of freedom. This was not a match shaped by opening novelties or theoretical explosions. It was a contest of psychology, by moments of hesitation, by the ticking clock, by resilience in the face of mistakes. As the match progressed, the pressure began to shift. As the games were on, Gukesh seemed to grow lighter, while the weight of the title pressed ever harder on Ding. When the match was finally decided, Gukesh had done the unthinkable. He defeated Dean Glirin and became World Chess Champion, the second of India. He became the youngest world champion in history. What this result really means? This was more than a generational shift. It was a transformation in the very structure of the championship. For the first time since Carlsen's rise, the champion was not someone who had spent years dominating the top level. He was someone who arrived quickly, seized his moment, and proved he could shoulder the pressure of the crown. To some, this new order felt unsettling. To others, it felt like a breath of renewal. Is this a weaker era or a more honest one? Almost immediately, the debate returned. Is modern chess weaker? The answer depends on what you value in terms of raw strength. Today's players are stronger than ever, largely due to advances in technology and the training that allows access to databases of historical games and strategies. However, some argue that rate inflation has made it difficult to compare players across different eras justly. Additionally, while the depth of the field has increased, showcasing a broader range of top contenders, it has diminished the era of dominance where a single player stood head and shoulders above the rest. Some contend that computer influence has eroded the creative aspect of chess, transforming it into a more calculated and less imaginative game. Computers are now integral in game preparation, which sometimes leads to formulaic plays. On the other hand, this widespread access to technology and the internet has democratized chess, encouraging a more global participation and breaking traditional geographic barriers. This era, while less predictable, may present a more honest representation of competitive prowess as it reflects the collective strength of the chess community. Champions now face challengers who truly believe, and rightly so, that the crown is within reach. The World Chess Championship cycle continues. The next candidates tournament will once again decide who earns the right to challenge the champion. From Steins to Fischer, from Kasparov to Carlsen, the World Championship has moved from certainty to possibility. We may see new champions from unexpected places, each bring their own style to the game. Technology and artificial intelligence are also changing how players prepare and compete. Today, top players use AI-powered engines and vast databases to analyze millions of positions, allowing them to discover novelties in opening theory and unravel deep strategy concepts. AI has transformed openings into more concrete battlegrounds, revealing possibilities that were previously unthinkable. The World Chess Championship has always been about more than just chess. It is a test of power, pressure, and the ability to withstand both. And right now, for the first time in many years, the future of the crown is truly open. The next chapter is here. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.